In this session, I want to share with you just the basic business tools necessary to get a job. And again, I want to emphasize, this is a career. This is a business. And that's a real hard thing for a lot of people to understand. Yes, it's fun. Yes, it's art. But at the end of the day, if no one gives you a job, it's no fun at all. Let me share just some basic business tools to help you get started. And some, if not all of these things, you'll already know. Number one, you need a headshot. Every actor needs a headshot. That's the actor's calling card. The challenge with headshots is quite often actors have the wrong headshot. Quite often they think of it as kind of a studio portrait. Quite often they want to make themselves as pretty as possible. And that's very self-defeating. That won't get you in the door. What you need in a headshot is a photo that looks exactly like you. I know the tendency, you coif your hair and all the makeup and things like that. But the problem is when you walk in the door, they look at that pretty picture and think, oh, I want to meet this person. You walk in the door and you don't match that picture. I can tell you from years of experience, I can tell you from being on the other side of the casting desk. There's nothing that will turn a director or a casting director off more than someone who walks in the door and they don't match that picture. Because at that point, you've wasted their time. You don't want to be that person. So what you want in a headshot is something that looks exactly like you. I'm going to tell you a story of the hard way that I learned that. When I first started my career, I did that thing. I combed my hair nicely, I did nice lighting, and those were my headshots. And I wasn't getting any calls. I wasn't getting any work. So then I got a new agent, and she said, Bruce, we're going to throw all these headshots out. What I want you to do, and this is going to scare most, if not all of you. She said, what I want you to do is wake up in the morning, don't shower, don't wash your hair, don't shave, don't nothing. And just go out straight from bed with a great photographer and get your picture taken. And that's going to be your headshot. Well, I don't have to explain how scary that was. And I would imagine as I say that, it scares you as well. But I wanted to work, so I did it. I tend to have this 5 o'clock shadow. My nose is a little bit crooked. I got one ear that sticks out and one that's normal. As I get older, the hairline's going back. All these kinds of things that we would consider not pretty. All these kinds of things that we would try to hide. I went the other way on that agent's advice. And I took those pictures. And suddenly my phone started ringing. Suddenly, when the casting director saw my headshot, it was a real person. It was a real person in that picture, and they wanted to meet that real person. I really want to encourage you to avoid the tendency in your headshot to make yourself all pretty, all handsome, nice clothes, and everything like that. Just to use the popular expression these days, just do you. Just do you. I'll tell you another story. I had a roommate in my early acting days, and he was kind of a quirky looking guy, and he wasn't getting any calls. And he kind of looked, the word is a nerd. He had a kind of a nerdy look about him. And based on my agent's advice, I told him, I said, look, Jim, here's what you do. Grease up your hair, get a pair of horn-rimmed glasses, and a Hawaiian shirt, button it up to the top, and go in and get your picture taken that way. In other words, market yourself as a nerd. I tell you, his phone started ringing like crazy. That guy got so many auditions and opportunities he just suddenly didn't know what to do. Overnight, he went from an unemployed actor to an actor in demand. And that leads me to the next part of what you want to do with your headshots. It's what your uniqueness is what's going to get you in the door. Barbra Streisand has a big nose. A lot of actresses in her day, they would go and get plastic surgery and shave that nose down. She didn't. In fact, she would take headshots profile to show it off. Shocked a lot of people. But she became Barbra Streisand. That's a blatant example of your uniqueness. Those little quirks about you are what is going to get you in the door. They're your calling card. You need to exploit those things. You need to bring them to your headshot. Very hard to get past that wanting to be pretty. But I really, really encourage you, just do you.